dolls are a nightmare. I don't know how the girls did it back then.
Yeah.
I can't tell them apart. I don't know which one is which. I'm trying to,
Yeah.
you're trying to get the most money out of everything you can, and there's no real database like there is for GI Joe and stuff like that, and and I
Yeah.
mean they made like 40 figures or 40 dolls every year, 40
Wow.
different dolls every year, and and none of them have like
Hmm.
distinct, well, I'm sure a girl that grew up in that time that or whoever
Yeah.
collected it during that time could, look at them and just like, oh yeah, that's that one. But me,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm having a hard time.
Well, I mean, the only thing, I guess the only time you could tell what's what is when they were released and you've got the box, right? It says at the back of the box, this is a year.
Right.
And I think that's an easy way to do it. But like, I mean, if we look at anything like, like the Superman toy, right? I got this week and it came with, you know, these little, you know, there was a separate one for this auction for this, then there was an auction for these three. And so, you know, it's different sizes. So the bottom, depending on where it is, either on the back or on the side, it will tell you the number, right, where it's released. And so you can look it up on the number. And even
Right.
then, it's like a hard time to look, find it. So you've got something like this will tell you, if you look at, Google that or something, and then and you go cloth, with the cloth cape. But I think a lot of time with the Barbie dolls, there's something I want to talk about today as well. That you don't know if it's like a Cindy. How can you tell if it's a Cindy or if it's a Barbie, right?
Yeah, it's a
And
Barbie.
yeah, and it's like, well, and especially if the kids, if the girls have drawn on it and stuff, give it some makeup.
Oh wow.
And the other thing is, some of them actually, I don't know if this is a Barbie or not. It's actually got plastic brassiere area, right? Like this, what is that called? It's like crop top, or they call it, like, they tie people up. I mean, around the waist things in the old days. So you
Right.
got that, right?
Corset.
Corset. That's the word I was looking for. And then you've got ones that have like, that are plastic on the actual figure, and the legs are plastic because it's supposed to be like a mermaid. I don't know if that's a Barbie. And so, and then also there's the one with the blonde hair, right?
Oh
Is that
yeah.
a Barbie? Um, but the
Well,
oh
if they have the Mattel stamp on them on their
yeah,
waist, their backside,
yeah.
they're Barbie.
Okay, so let's see how many of these are a Barbie. Well, this one with a bikini, right? It's actually a bikini, so it's not actually just the top, but she's actually wearing a bikini, right? So she's
Okay.
actually, it's a one piece. So I don't think this is a Mattel. This is a weird thing. It says here it's nope, doesn't say Mattel at all on here. So it's maybe not a Mattel, not a Barbie at all. Maybe
Look
it's
at
a
the
Cindy.
back of the hair on the back of the head.
Back of the head.
Yep. Sometimes there's a date stamped on there. Real faint.
Gosh, pretty faint. Yeah, let me get my cell phone if I can do a zoom
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. I,
Um,
I went on a crash course this morning trying to figure it out.
so what, the person who came with the stuff, or
She
um,
came. A lady came a couple of weeks ago with some Barbie dolls,
yeah,
and I bought them from her because I wanted some, I wanted some Barbies in the store.
yeah.
Um, so today I got them out to try to organize them, and that just turned into a cluster.
You're right. This is a Mattel doll. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I got to, you guys watching get a crash course as well. So thank you guys
Yeah.
for watching. Press that like button and subscribe button and
So
share.
what you find out is on the waist, on
Yeah,
like the small of her back, there should
yeah.
be a stamp of where she was made,
Okay,
and the stamp of Mattel and the year. And what it is the year that she was made. It's not necessarily the year that she came out. It's the year that body style was created.
okay,
So let's say she's stamped in 1980, she could be a doll from 1983.
okay. So this this is an interesting one because it's like the hair on this is great. I wanted this one because like I don't even know if it's a Barbie doll. It doesn't really matter to me. I just because
It doesn't look like Barbie.
yeah, it's got brown hair and look at what the girls done. You know,
Yeah.
that used to have it. So by the way, guys, these toys are ones that I've picked up with thrift shops because we're planning.
Don't lie. Those are from your personal collection. You don't have to lie.
No. Well, yeah, well. Actually, this is the thing. Like, I don't remember my sister having Barbies. I think she might have actually had one Cindy or something like that. She wasn't such a. I don't think she played that much with dolls, but so we never really had that much dolls that I'm aware of because I was out of the house with 17. So she's about 8 years younger than me. So she was only about 11 or 12 when I had already left the house and gone on to work and stuff. Yeah. They are made with unicorn tears, man. You know, you're right. And yeah, Akira. Like, you can't describe Akira. The majesty of the animation, hand drawn.
I guess I'm one of the few in the toy world that really never got or understood Akira. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've watched it.
Yeah.
And I was at that perfect age when I first saw it that it should have hit with me, and I got done with it, and I'm just like, I did not like it. I just did not like it at all. But the animation part of it, that they did, fantastic. Same with Ghost in the Shell, same with Ninja Scroll, all those. But the story arc that they were telling, I just couldn't wrap my head around it, and it was just too far out there for me to really enjoy it, to accept it. I'm and that was the hard part with me. I had a friend of mine that was just telling me, "Oh, this is better than." He was at the time he showed it to me. Terminator 2 came out. He's like, "Oh, this is better than Terminator 2, better than Terminator 2," and I'm like, "Okay." I watched it.
Damn well is.
I'm like,
you'd be crazy to think it's not. Yeah.
So,
Austin, did you watch it? What do you think?
I'm probably in agreement. Yeah, I agree. About the same level. It's. I guess I don't understand it enough to get into it. My boys, they know that stuff like 101. And they're trying to educate me, and I'm like, okay, I'm still like, over the head. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I should have got you to do me a Akira style cover. That would have been so cool.
That'd been neat. Yeah.
I saw something that really made me smile this week. I'm gonna show you guys this if I can properly find this real quick. But I think it's on our Plunge Studios NZ Facebook page, if I remember right. Where are you? There she is. This is like the greatest thing I could see, and you know how we're like, people talk about fandom, and what's popular right now. Isn't that cool? Like, that's why I thought, like,
that's cool. That's super cool. I think, all of the imagery, all of the animation, the motorcycle, everything in Akira that was animated, and that was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
The story and how it progressed, that's where you lost me.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it got lost. But I think that's an amazing looking cover. For
just a poster, it's it's just so magical, right? I just iconography. There's everybody who's ever watched Akira or is into film and whatever or into animation straight away understands it.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the homage of it is like just the just the bee's knees, really. I think this is just I'd love to have this as a cover on a comic.
I recall seeing a piece where somebody had done the same thing, but it was like one of the Ghostbusters. It might have been Pete walking up to Ecto 1 in the same setup.
Okay.
And it was
Let me
kind
see
of,
if I can find it. Now, Jill, while I'm doing that, Big Stu, do you want to carry on talking about the about this discussion about the Barbie dolls that you had with this customer?
Oh, I had some Barbie dolls come in a couple weeks ago, and I've been trying to sort through them to figure out, you know, what's what, which Barbie I got versus, you know, and as I'm researching them on the computer on Google, it's a mess. I they're just so they put out so many Barbies every year that I mean it's so hard to tell which one is which. And of course, I'm pretty sure that somebody out there could come in and see the five dolls that I have that I'm trying to identify and go, oh, that's from that, yeah, you know, that's from that year, that's from that year, that's from that year, and tell me exactly what accessories are supposed to go with them. But for the life of me today, I could not. I took pictures of them. I did Google Lens. I did eBay. I looked up for a Barbie database. I mean, just everything. And me being a GI Joe collector, you know, finding out what Joe I have, or you know, that's easy peasy, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
But Barbie is on a whole nother level, and I think I gained a lot of respect for the Barbie collector community. If there, you know, if there's such a, you know, I'm sure there's such a thing, but those Barbie collecting community that can do that with those dolls is amazing to me, because I mean, I was just lost. I was just completely lost, you know, and it's really the first toy line that I've come across that I've been completely lost on, and wasn't able to figure something out within a couple hours. It was a good 2 or 3 hours today, and I'm still nowhere closer to solving the riddle than I was when I started this morning.
Wow.
I would have thought, like, with the whole connection with, like, as we talked about with you know, I wanted to show you guys this one as well, but we'll get back to that soon. But the connection with GI Joe, as we discussed, you know, in the past streams, that you probably still want to, like, know a bit about it, but I guess this is your time to learn, you know, like, I mean, yeah.
I mean, the ones that I got are from the 80s. I did identify one is a maxi doll from Hasbro, one of the Hasbro counterparts.
Right.
And then I found one was not a Barbie doll, but it was one of the other dolls that came out that was one of Barbie's friends. I found that one, but other than that, you know, I couldn't identify clothes. I couldn't identify the figures. You know, I would think, oh, this is the one. This is the one. Then I'd look at their face, compare their face, and it was a different face sculpt and all that stuff. So it's just like, oh, I don't know what to do. So, you know, I'll probably put them on eBay as just a general lot, and you know, and call it, you know, hey, this is from the 80s. You know, and put it out there that way, and hopefully somebody that knows what they're looking for will appreciate it. But right now, I'm just lost. You know, I had an easier time identifying the accessories, like I have Barbie came out with a toilet. Like, I didn't know that was needed a play pattern. I didn't know there needed to be a toilet play pattern in Barbie.
Yeah,
but I have a bathtub toilet combination thing that was in the playhouse. I have that. I have a salon, and then I have like this box that had a case that was like a case that was from the office to home play set.
right.
You know, and
that's a cool thing about that, right? Like,
cool
that is a cool thing about the whole idea of that. That if you're a twin, right, and your sister, and you're into G.I. Joe or whatever, into Batman, and your sister's got the dolls, and you could have the car, right? You know, you got the car. This is like picked up at thrift, so it's not that great condition. So you've got the car, and you can put your Spider-Man with, and you can play with the, off to the dollhouse, whatever, and that sort of thing. I think there was this element of realism that comes with Barbie, right? That I think, which is why they have all these things that,
Right.
like you've got a toilet, right? Where we don't care about realism. We just want, what's the coolest looking thing that's on a toy?
Well,
That's part of that character.
I
And
absolutely love
we don't need a Spider-Man, what is it called, like a motorbike, because we know that Spider-Man doesn't need it, but they've got a Spider-Man motorbike, or a Jeep. Like I've got a Jeep there, or a dune buggy. It's like, it's like, all I want is a figure.
I have absolutely most respect for Barbie, because if it wasn't for Barbie, I wouldn't have my line that I love so much. We wouldn't have G.I. Joe. Right. It was a direct correlation. The little boy was playing with his sister's Barbie doll and was playing war with it, and that was the inspiration for G.I. Joe. And that's what it was. And without Barbie, we wouldn't have that. And that's, but
and so much more, right?
So much more.
Yeah. Right. Because I mean, all this, all these other figures, right? Like I don't know when. Like, okay, this came out about 64 is when 64 is when Spider-Man was created. But of course, you had all the Batman and stuff out there beforehand. I wonder if, maybe Hawk knows about the history. I haven't looked into the history of when the toys for the comics came out. That's something I should look at and have somebody.
The comics came out way before the toys did for Spider-Man and Batman and that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, not way before, but they preceded it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, so it'd be cool to have somebody who's a historian in that sort of area, like with the comic book collection, toy collection. Because me, I just get a cool figure, and I'm like, find out about the cool figure. Is it the size that I want? Is it exactly? Because this is the most recent I bought this week, right? Came delivered this week, as well as these ones here, little ones. So 2 sets came in this week, but this came in a huge box, and I was like, did I buy a bulk buy or something? Because when I actually bought this, I had to go online and watch YouTube videos. So thank you guys who actually do unboxings. We did it for this one. I actually went on and said, this guy is saying it's 24 centimeters, 11 inches. I've never seen a figure that big, and especially with Raphael. And I'm not sure if that's what it is. That's auctioning, right? So I call this the only Raphael Teenage Mutant Ninja figure that you'll ever need. There's no other need for anything else ever once you got this, right? The wrists swing around.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that doesn't move is the head, sadly, right? Because it's I'm sure if you heated it up, I think if you put it in hot water, it might move around a bit. The arms move around, so you can do your little movements, right? Side to side, up and down. Legs at the knee. Whoops, knees move. And go around, right?
Oh, yeah.
And of course, bending down and stuff. Now, the only thing, because this is from a private collection, the only thing it didn't have was 2 different color nunchucks it came with. So one's like a dark brown and one's like a light brown, beige color. Because they, of course, it's based on the movie from I think it's based on the movie around about 2000 and, gosh, come on, eyes. I think it was 2014. Yeah, so that's what it's from. It's a 2014. And seriously, this is 11 inch over here at the head. So I'm looking at about maybe a 12-inch doll. I mean, figure, right? Action figure, whatever, doll. Doesn't matter. There. And it's the shell itself is tied on tight. It's vinyl. And I think it's plastic. So it's attached to it. But it's such a solid piece, right? You got, his mask, cloth mask, even his loin wraparound, vinyl. And it's such a solid figure, right? I just thought it was so cool, and that's it. I'm gonna get rid of all my other figures, all my little figures, and I'll keep that. I'm having a clearance because I realize I don't have room, so I've decided next week on a private New Zealand toy group, toy collector group, I'm going to have like this is the price for these ones, and that's all it is. I'll do a bulk, there'll be no bulk buy, but if I buy a whole bunch of a lot of them, I'll drop down the prices and stuff. So
Right.
I'm just decide I don't need about 20 different Spider-Mans. Right? I just want the cool ones that I want to keep, and I can like say, look, like I can do with this guy. I can say, Raphael. You don't need anything else. So yeah. So
you need the original Raphael
and,
from the 80s.
But talk about Barbie, right? So one thing that really, the realism that comes with Barbie, I think it's such a cool thing. I remember the first time I actually saw someone who was a Barbie collector was a 50-year-old. I was probably about 26, 24 at that time. She had all the boxes stacked up around her house. She's American, right? This is why I knew, that the reason she would have a Barbie is because, and have that many of them, because she's American. She was married to Akira from here, and so they moved over, had kids here and stuff. And her daughter Liz at that time was about 12 or something, and she was getting into it as well, so she could have her own Barbies. But her mum's one, I can't remember her mum's name, but would be stacked up and be in boxes and stuff, because she had brought all her Barbies with her to New Zealand, and of course they went back a few years later. And but that was the first time I knew, I saw someone who was into Barbie dolls, and she was just showing them to me, and I was like, wow. And that was it. It was like, wow, there's a lot of toys, and those went over my head. Didn't even think about why, or having discussion about it or something, because I'm a comic person, right? So I wasn't so much into that. But this is someone who grew up with Barbie and is now passing it on to her daughter, that same love. And this movie, like, I saw a bit of the movie, the start of it, and I realized the best thing about this movie isn't the Barbies at all. It's about Ken. Because the greatest thing about this thing is that Ken is the only real human character in there. He's not plastic, okay, they can make him out to be like this dull character, but if you really think about it, that's just a male in the real world. And I think for me, when I looked at him, Ken, I was like, he's all about, look, Barbie, I'm nothing without you, Barbie, and this is the whole story about that. I think for me was like seeing Ken basically have this loneliness about him, which is like, it's all the Barbies have all the fun time. They have all the parties, they have all the clothes, and he's there stuck until she looks at him. He's like nothing until she looks at him. And so it's and I think a lot of time, people are missing the point about that element of it. They just think it's about, the cool, it's all feminism and all that. But I think it's if people go away from this movie, give it a couple of weeks later, their brains will start, regurgitating. Why did that stick out to me? Or what, because like it happens when you're watching or reading a book or something, you go, why did they say that? What was a character in that situation behaving like that? Mm-hmm. And I thought, that's why, I thought I could understand why people loved it so much, because it only took me 10 minutes to watch the start of the movie to realize I'm going to love this movie, right? Because it's a real character arc for Ken, not for Barbie. Barbie is just this, colorful thing out there, plastic self, whereas Ken seems to be this human element. And I think Ryan Gosling really, like in the little shorts that I've seen, did a really good job. So I recommend everybody go see Barbie.
Well, it broke the the top 10 grossing films of all time. I think it's in the top 10 now.
Yeah,
maybe top 100. I don't know. It's made a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's nice to see that a toy movie's made a lot of money, though. Gives me hope for a good G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Hopefully.
Well, I mean,
that'd be nice, right?
It'd be hopefully, yeah. Yeah, we're waiting.